Okay, welcome to BarnBridge Project Call 20. The tech team is actually on a retreat for the weekend doing team building exercises of some sort. So I'm going to give the update myself for the tech side. We have Smart Exposure launching next week on mainnet. Then the week after that, we have Smart Yield launching on Polygon. And from the update that Bogdan gave me, it actually seems like Smart Exposure and Smart Yield are actually going to be launching on the same week on Polygon, which might be the reason why it was like they pushed it out, because they wanted to just launch both on there at the same time instead of like working. So that's what it's looking like from the update that Bogdan gave me, that we're going to have Polygon in 2 weeks, and the next week is Smart Exposure. And then there's a bunch of other stuff going on in the background, but like we said before and to the community, that we don't really want to talk about much of that until those launches are like imminent. But we do have audits lined up, and there is some pretty exciting stuff coming, and I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't really want to open it up.
Well, we can say that the audits for on the Polygon stuff, some of what set things back were their testnet. Like, we obviously like don't test in prod like some groups in crypto, so like their testnet was a little shaky, and so they're an awesome team to work with. That's not a knock on Polygon. They're just getting a lot of usage. A lot of people are building, a lot of people are testing there. And then so also like figuring out how we can like claim fees on the DAO, and like the bridge gets back to like mainnet like Ethereum. So like I can at least explain that those are some of the setbacks. And then I was the one that said that we should wait and launch Smart Exposure on Polygon like within a very short time frame, 1 or 2 weeks from launching on Ethereum mainnet, because I think it's going to get a lot more usage on Polygon because of how it essentially works with its keeper network. And Polygon is actually really excited about it and will be incentivizing it. So I basically didn't want to get like front run on there. And one thing I'll say is we probably should, I think that we have the specs pretty well built out. Like Specular, so Specular Trevor did all of like the markdowns. He told me like 2 days ago, he's like up till 4 a.m. working on it. So we'll have docs and all of the documentation in place. And then the like Smart Secret is scheduled to go to audit on like mid-July, and then end of July, Smart Alpha should be going to audit. That doesn't mean that like we're launching them imminently afterwards, because we've been doing a lot of front end and back end work just for all of the Polygon stuff, like switching between all of those interfaces. So, but from a smart contract perspective, we're pretty far along on both of those, because I mean, mid-July and end of July is anywhere from 3 to 5 weeks away. So there's a lot of shit coming. But that's, to Troy's point, everything we're gonna say.
Yeah, so with that, I think what we're going to do is we're going to hand it over to Christian to kind of direct the operations update. So Christian.
Thanks, guys. So quick update up front. First few weeks here, my main priority has been building out a newer, refined operational process to catalog what we have going on and ensure we're aligned across marketing, across product, and just kind of streamline a number of things. So that's been built and rolled out. So we'll be using that going forward. My focus will shift from here to business development and outreach. But with that, I'll pass it over to Max for some more tactical updates around integrations.
Sure. So I have a laundry list that I'll be going through. So bear with me if I get a bit too monotone here. First on the bat is I've been working with Leo, our China community manager, and essentially given the events of the past few weeks, he's still super confident about what we're doing in China, but he does think it would be better to house his operations underneath a actually established company there. So I'm working with him on a proposal for that. And yeah, it's probably going to be one of the more interesting governance items we've had to date. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. Secondly, I'm working with a couple of community members on getting reporting standards in place. So you can expect to see a Q2 BarnBridge report with financials as well as kind of core team commentary on how the past quarter went. So I think that'll be an interesting kind of precedent to be set for us, and kind of falls in line with what YFI has been doing for the past few quarters as well. Secondly, or I guess thirdly, a few items that you may not have seen just because it has been kind of a busy week, right? Has been that bond is now listed on the SDFI index maintained by Synthetics. I think we have a 0.5% exposure in that index, and it'd be cool to see how that changes over time, hopefully. And over the past week, we've also seen our snapshot votes for supporting Shield mining with the Nexus Mutual community pass, as well as filling up the rest of our Bancor co-investment. So we'll be looking to bring those kind of decisions through DAO governance next. And those will involve both the deployment of DAO bond holdings, as well as the deployment of bond or DAO stablecoin holdings. So more interesting precedent to be set there. Another point I'd like to touch on is governance items that are kind of in the pipeline at the moment. Currently, there are two. ImmuneFi is the first one, and essentially it would be setting aside a bug bounty through ImmuneFi's platform. And the cool thing about ImmuneFi is that we can set aside a bug bounty, but not necessarily have to escrow it. So with Smart Yield launching on Polygon, for instance, we'd essentially be able to do weekly senior tranches. And every week, either we have to pay out a bug bounty, or we keep reinvesting using our own products, earning a bit of yield for the DAO. Should be a little interesting experiment, I think, and how that goes forward. And then the other item is a community proposed initiative called the Benevolent Bond kind of philanthropy fund. And currently it's proposing that 1% of each quarter's revenues go to on-chain charitable efforts. So if you haven't seen that and you find it compelling, would encourage you to check out the forum, kind of read how that's been laid out, and provide feedback, ask questions, raise concerns, what have you, because I do think it's a step in the right direction for our DAO becoming more than just us being here for BarnBridge, right? We've built a community, and it would be cool to see us continue to act like one, right, and get a bit more integrated with everyone. And that's about it. So if anyone has kind of questions about what I rattled off, feel free to DM me on Discord, or raise any further questions in the general chat.
But so Max, I'm sorry, I might have missed it. Did you cover the curve request?
I did not. I think, I mean, I can. So it's still a bit up in the air, but essentially what we realized is that with Curve's V2 update 2 weeks ago, their new pool format would essentially allow for a Smart Yield junior tranche mega pool, right? I would say maybe like the big 3 stable coins from Compound and Aave, put them all into a single pool. And that would essentially allow us to both address kind of secondary market concerns, right, by bootstrapping that liquidity, as well as making it possible and easy for folks to jump between different tranches depending on whatever their rate might be, where you can optimize as you see fit. So that's an idea we're looking into. I've reached out to their team, and hopefully we can get some kind of feedback on the feasibility of that, because I do think that would be a more productive use of our resources than the current liquidity mining kind of planning for the junior side. So yeah, stay tuned.
Hey Max, quickly
Okay,
on
cool.
that point, I'll introduce you to Julian at Curve. He can kind of help push that through or get you connected.
Perfect.
Thank God. Please do. Because we've been trying to get in touch with them, but it's been a round. I mean, they've been super communicative with us when engaged, but they're just busy, right? Everyone in this industry is busy. So it will really help us if you do that. Also, to like Max's point about the junior, like how we handle incentives, it's tough to say this because like I don't want to give out a bunch of information, but like I think Smart Secret will change how we handle incentives. I think that it will definitely fix like the quote unquote problem on loading out the senior side, as well as Polygon will as well, because one of the, like even someone was in our Discord yesterday asking like how to deposit like $1,000 for a month in the senior side, and even at like 7 GUI, it's like it's not worth it, right? It's the capital efficiency of being a money Lego is hurting the senior side, and then also some of like the things that I've been pretty clear about in Discord are also issues. Polygon fixes the gas price component. Smart Secret fixes some of the other components. And so I think that we need to make sure that we don't stop rewards because we don't have a set date. I don't know the set date that rewards end, but we also don't have a set date on when we launch Smart Secret. So we at least need to make sure that we extend them and don't lose any of the TVL, but with the mindset that we don't extend them too long, that we kind of put good bond after bad. When I think that the platform, like obviously long-term, these things need to have a positive cash flow flywheel. And I think that we're very close to that, but too long didn't like, I don't want to lose any TVL before that. So that's something we'll kind of have to dance with the community on, that we only extend it until we release this other thing. And I hope that they'll trust that what we do have coming out will be awesome enough that it will need new capital like incentive structures. Which I'm
to Tyler's point, just so everyone's aware, we currently have 2 sets of rewards going out for the juniors. So the first set was just that compound USDC pool. That's scheduled to end sometime end of September. And now the second wave of rewards we voted in essentially expire August 8th, if I did the math right. And so I think with this curve idea, right, if it proves feasible, both, you know, at a technical level and a political level, it's interesting because that curve pool would essentially, you know, remove the need to differentiate between different junior pools on the reward side. AKA, we could take all the rewards we have going, plow them into a single pool, and let the market decide, you know, what juniors they want to use to get those rewards, so to speak. And so I think a combination of that curve pool migration, along with, you know, an extension of rewards through sometime in September, right? I think that's a conservative timeline for Smart Secret, would give us the runway as well as a way to do this without necessarily, you know, having to up rewards given out on a weekly basis. Obviously, this is all stuff that needs to be thought out a bit more and will be open for a very long community discussion, I'm sure. So we'll do the legwork on the curve side, and then present all the information once we have it.
Cool. I think we can probably move on. I think we all look forward to the community discussion around a lot of that, because there's a lot of information there and you're gonna have to unpack a lot, but I think it makes sense. Anyway, Pablo, if you want to give an update as to what's going on with you.
Yep. So mine is going to be short and sweet. Firstly, for the email newsletter. So we've been kind of like having an official newsletter and a newsletter that was ran by Max, and the Max BarnBridge. And we kind of like agreed that it makes more sense to put the efforts towards like having one combined newsletter under the official one. So those will be merging, and that will still have weekly barn burner editions on Friday, and other than that, that will also contain announcement, project community calls, and everything we've had till this time. We've been recently sending an email to everyone who is subscribed and kind of like listing down what types of content you can expect to get going forward. So if you haven't checked it yet, and you know that you have been subscribed to it, check it out. Secondly, we have started working with a motion designer on the video explanation we've been talking about in the past. So it's still work in progress, and it's just getting started, but we are already excited about it. And I think that probably the first content piece here would be like a generalized introduction to BarnBridge. So this is coming along. And last but not the least, more website updates to come. So we have been working on the dark theme, so it aligns with the app style as well. You'll be able to switch between the light and dark ones, updating some copy, so it basically simplifying it, and then some other small updates and tweaks on the website you'll be able to see pretty soon. So that's generally it on my side.
Cool. So last but not least, we are kind of saving the best for last. So we didn't put this in the agenda, but I'm going to let Tyler take it over. And the reason why this project call is going to be coming out so late and you're getting it now is because of what's going to come out later today. So we filmed this in the morning, but there's a bunch of stuff coming. So Tyler, do you want to do the honors?
Well, one thing I want to add though to Pablo's update that I think that Christian, Tyler, Max, and Pablo should all talk about internally, but it's fine being on this call, is we're doing some maintenance of like the email, like just lists that are going out, because like we still do loose like email marketing from a content perspective. And then like 8 Tapes essentially has like 1,000 subscribers that I didn't even know that till Pablo told me that this week. And I think when Max originally started doing Barn Burner, he did it on like a Substack, and he may want to keep that separate for personal reasons. I'm not sure. But since other than these like project calls going out, and like Max is the one that's pushing out most of the community updates via Barn Burner. So I think that we probably need to have a conversation whether we should bring that internal so it looks like more official now that Max is on the core team. So I think that that's probably something that we all need to talk about next week so that we can get those communications solidified, especially because we're probably doing an 8 Tapes here pretty soon. And I mean, it's a good BarnBridge marketing tool as it is. Like 1,000 free emails is good. Outside of that, the Coinbase stuff, which I think is what everybody is going to be wanting to know the most about. Some of this stuff is going to have to be like cut if they don't announce this like this evening. So we'll have to figure out whether we launch this like call tonight or whether we launch it tomorrow. But Coinbase, we're going on Coinbase Prime. One of the reasons we haven't like retweeted any of it or put it into the announcement channels in Discord, and like I haven't even liked any of the posts on like Twitter, which is painful because everybody's talking about it, is they asked us like not to amplify it in any capacity until all of their updates are essentially launched. And so like we're not just getting launched on Coinbase Pro, we're getting launched on Coinbase Consumer and Coinbase Earn. And we've been working with them since November when we created the Secret Service multi-sig. I mean, that was one of the reasons that we decided, and I've told other teams when they go DAO first, you need to have a multi-sig so that you can do things under NDA, because we essentially couldn't talk about what we were doing with 3% of the supply that's just been asterisked and earmarked for a very long time. And basically, back in February, Coinbase essentially went under wraps from listing because of their IPO. And we didn't have our like full product suite launched by then. So everything essentially got delayed until now. So we've been working with them for a very, very long time, from everything from the earn videos to kind of pushing all of this stuff along. And so one of the biggest things that everyone should know, and I don't want to violate my NDA with Coinbase, like to say like how all of that gets distributed, but those 300,000 coins are going to new BarnBridge community members, essentially. So the way that you can think about this is that is like a community distribution of the bond token, where people are essentially going to have to learn how BarnBridge works, and through learning about how BarnBridge works, they will then actually get bond tokens, right? And there's other things that we're loosely talking about doing with Coinbase as a result of like where some of those funds go and how we handle all of it. But the bulk majority is going to users that actually learn about BarnBridge. And this is extremely important that I did not realize when we originally started this journey, is that from a decentralization perspective, like right now we have 5,000, 6,000 people that essentially have bond tokens. I'm not, let's say it's 10,000, because I don't know if Etherscan counts people that are staked in the DAO versus just wallets that essentially have it. Well, there's millions and millions and millions of users that essentially use Coinbase. And so we will very quickly go to having an extremely distributed token, like 50,000, 100,000 users, right? Like Compound use this as a distribution mechanism that actually decentralized their governance better than even people were doing back in the ICO days. And so from a manner of looking at this from like our effort to actually decentralize the protocol, we thought that this mechanism, I mean, I'm more excited about this than I am even like a Coinbase listing, right? Because we're basically going to use it as an opportunity to teach a lot of consumers around the world how our products work and why they're useful to them. And even some of the messaging that we've been saying in the Discord, and like working with Christian since he's come on from a marketing perspective, that when we were first starting our community, we were really going after like the degen heavy crypto head people. And so all of the comms and communications were extremely complex, right? Because we were trying to attract the smartest people in DeFi. Well, DeFi is not only grown, but now we're going to be on a bigger like spotlight to the rest of the world. And so I think that you'll probably see as a result of this a lot more questions in the Discord, a lot of dumb questions in the Discord. And I think that we need to be cognizant of that, and we need to be patient and kind of teach these people what it is that we're building. But even a step further from that, I think you also can expect that you're going to start to see refreshes in some of our messaging, both from conversations that we've been having with TradFi people. Like Max introduced me to a traditional finance person that's been in the industry for 35 years and was giving some advice on, even from talking to TradFi, the way that we should be communicating, and then even down to the level of everyday average people that hit the BarnBridge site. It may even hit a point that we don't even call like senior and junior tranches on the yield side. We call it fixed and variable, right? So I think as a result of all of these questions that come in and all of the confusion that everyone can start to expect to see, we're going to be able to take all of that in. We're going to be able to dissect it, and we're going to be able to start having comms in various buckets and how we go about describing our products, because we are starting to make the bridge the gap between like being a esoteric Discord full of people that really understand DeFi to starting to, move. I'm not saying that Earn's going to immediately give us mainstream appeal, but it's going to give us the questions and the feedback that we need so that we can start having better communications outwardly to people outside of just Discord so that we can attract those people in. And that coupled with all of the decentralization factors of what Earn brings, that's what we're doing here.
All right.
Hey, Tyler, really quick. So 4C is stepping up its a partnership with DeFi Dad. He hasn't done like a proper tutorial like that since that bankless one he put out at the end of last year when the yield farming pools went live. So let's get him queued up, Christian and Max. Maybe we'll get you guys on and we'll go through like a proper demo to go through all the products, how to use them, and get that through his kind of 80,000 Twitter follower distribution channel as well.
Nice.
Maybe once Polygon goes live, so that way it's it's more like retail facing.
Because then he can show a senior deposit, and it's not like, I mean, I did the math when we was very high, and it's gone down substantially thanks to Polygon. But like when we first launched Smart Yield, we needed to make sure it worked properly on Ethereum mainnet. But because it's a money Lego, after the deposit, it was like you would have to deposit $1 million for like a 1 month maturity in order for it to be like actually worth the money. Polygon changes that. So now I think between Earn and Polygon, we will start having users like, look, at the end of the day, BarnBridge's senior side of Smart Yield is better than any certificate of deposit anywhere at any bank in the entire world. And the number of people that are depositing in the certificate of deposits every single day on 3 month maturities is larger than all of DeFi combined times 10. So like there are a lot of people around the world that will use this product if it's capital efficient and makes sense for them. So I think we need to start thinking about the senior side that way. DeFi data will help push us in that direction.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that sounds awesome, Gideon. So I don't know. There's not really, we didn't have it. I put up this agenda kind of late because we were still like figuring out what was going to happen with Coinbase. So we don't have any questions from the community right now.
I just have one thing to add. Someone just pointed in our Discord that there is a scam website under BarnBridge.us domain, and they are sending private messages to people announcing like something like BarnBridge app V2. So just be aware that's a scam. And that website looks like really similar to what our official one looks like. So it's a pretty good one.
We also have a BarnBridge official Telegram with 6,000 people in it. I don't know how we're gonna. I would say that with all the new eyeballs on us, we're gonna see more scams. And honestly, like I don't even know how to take like what do you tell like what do you?
I don't know. We're gonna have to look into it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We're gonna look into it. Just know Bond is BarnBridge and it's barnbridge.com.
I think Coinbase signed up for the industry, so
check.
Sorry, Bonded Finance, that it took you almost a year to fork Compound.
Hey Pablo, I have a question. Talking to a bunch of people in the community about this, the UI, now that there's so many different products and tranches and pools and different ways to yield farm and stake and unstake, would you guys think that like a single comprehensive dashboard where you can see your total collateral that's in any BarnBridge contract and you can kind of manage it from one place so you don't have to click through all the different pages to kind of track down your collateral? I mean, I'm in like probably I've been in at least every single pool at least once at one point in time or another. And I still find like, little crumbs laying around places that I forgot about them.
You mean like a user profile like dashboard that just shows
we're
getting so many products. We almost kind of need something like that.
I agree with that. I mean, it's almost like I think Sushi does a good job with Bento Box with how many products they have out. And like I kind of told the dev team to look at the way that they handle Polygon for like flipping back and forth between interfaces. Keegan, the answer is like yes. Like I think that, I mean, I know Emilio's helping with the smart secret modeling stuff. I do think that as we work on the communications to the point that I'm even saying that I don't know that we call smart yield tranches anymore, because they're not actually tranches in the way that it works in traditional finance. And I think that word scares the average consumer away. So I think that there's a lot of stuff that we need to do to improve. I think we need to get Smart Secret and Smart Alpha out, and then those are going to have things that we need to improve on them. But like, we need to start working on it now and then implementing it in like August, September and onward. So like, it's a good point. But your point about the dashboards, I think, is a bigger overarching thing that needs improvement, where across the board, we need to be like cleaning stuff up. I mean, the UI is sick. That's not a knock on the UI. It's kind of across the board. We need to play with stuff.
It's grown.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds good.
Cool. So I think with that, we're gonna let it go because we got a lot of work we need to get done for the rest of the day in preparation for this announcement. So signing off. Have a good one, everyone.
Bye, everybody.